Hello, I'm Lara Kocharsan and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online. Pro-EU demonstrations in Georgia are intensifying across several cities. They're demanding fresh elections and the restoration of talks to join the European Union.
Georgia is currently on the verge of a revolution and no one is talking about it. The images coming out of the riots are absolutely insane. Thousands of people are hitting the streets to protest and more than 100 people have been arrested. Police have been firing rubber bullets, tear gas, and water cannons against them. It's because the Georgian Prime Minister decided to end negotiations to join the European Union. Many people think that the Georgian government is secretly deepening their ties with Russia. The Georgian Prime Minister ended the negotiations, but the Georgian president stands with the people. She joined the protests and she also confronted police herself. But unfortunately in Georgia, the Prime Minister has a lot more power than the president does. A lot of Georgia's economy depends on Russia. And after the 2008 war, Russia has been occupying 20% of Georgia's land. The people in Georgia, by a majority, dislike Russia and don't want anything to do with them. The government of Georgia wants to deepen their ties with Russia and stay away from the European Union. But even though majority of people in Georgia want to join the European Union, the Prime Minister decided to push back talks to 2028.
By Monday, the protests that had been going on for 4 consecutive days and nights spread across 8 big cities. The parliament building in the capital, Tbilisi, has seen some of the biggest demonstrations. Despite brutal crackdowns, arrests, and police violence, Georgians are standing strong. Many demonstrators are using fireworks against police water cannons and tear gas.
I'm here for a very simple reason, to defend my European future and the democracy of my country. We've attended elections, and it was clearly rigged, and we've done everything in our power so far to show that we desire a European future. So right now, we're going to defend ourselves, our country, our people, and most importantly, our future.
We don't want to be part of Russia. We want to be part of Europe, and we belong to Europe.
Very simple reason. It's just the fact that my country deserves to be free from the Russian regime that has haunted us for many centuries. And I believe that we need to get into Europe. It's truly what we've wanted for many, many centuries.
Tensions have been brewing for months now between the ruling Georgian Dream Party and critics who accuse it of pursuing authoritarian, anti-Western and pro-Russian policies. High-profile officials, including Georgia's ambassador to the US, have resigned, and hundreds of diplomats and civil servants have signed open letters saying the goal of joining the EU is enshrined in Georgia's constitution. On Sunday, Prime Minister Irakli Kobahidze appeared to change his mind, saying, "We have not suspended joining the EU." But that is the opposite of what he had announced on television.
With the huge protests that we see in the streets of Tbilisi, is that a sign of the Georgian government moving closer to Russia? Well, it is certainly a sign of the Georgian government being more authoritarian and distinctly more anti-Western. And that is, of course, endangering the ambitions of Georgia to move closer to the European Union, eventually membership. We'll see what happens. But Georgia was given this status of candidate country to the European Union. I think what we see now is going to have the consequences that there's not going to be any movement forward on that until we see Georgia moving in a more Western, democratic and liberal direction.
It's the most expensive season on Earth. Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, and New Year. A relentless wave of sales, ads, and limited time only deals bombard us from every direction. For some, it's a lifeline, making the spending season more affordable. But for others, it's a slippery slope into overconsumption.
Because of social media, we feel this insane need to constantly overconsume and keep up.
You don't need another lip oil, another eyeshadow palette. You don't need a brown eyeliner just because they're all talking about it out of nowhere. It's just another trend that will die. You don't need to have clean girl aesthetic if you don't want to. If you want your winged eyeliner, you do your winged eyeliner. Stop being a follower. Be the trendsetter. You don't need another body wash or a body scrub. If you have one, it's more than enough. You don't need more perfumes or more candles. It doesn't make you look rich or cool, sorry. What you need is to ask yourself why you keep telling yourself that you need things that are really just wants.
Companies try to keep us in this hamster wheel of like constantly buying stuff. You don't need something. You need a reason to buy it. And that's what companies try to provide you with.
Well, here's the thing. Shoppers know all about the marketing tricks. the flashy ads, and the limited time offers. But guess what? Year after year, more people spend more money during the holiday season. Let's break down this year's numbers.
This year's holiday shopping season has already hit new heights. Over Black Friday weekend, US shoppers spent a staggering $75 billion. That's a 5% increase from last year. Online shopping played a huge role in this surge. E-commerce sales soared, with online spending jumping by 14.6%. Thanksgiving Day also set the tone for the weekend, as online shoppers spent an impressive $6.1 billion, a record for the day. Black Friday followed suit, with online sales reaching $10.8 billion, compared to $9.8 billion the previous year. But Adobe Analytics predicts that Cyber Monday will steal the spotlight, with shoppers expected to spend a record-breaking $13.2 billion, making it the year's biggest shopping day.
Here's the rub. Great deals don't always mean great quality. And that's why regret is as much a part of shopping season as the deals themselves. Over half of consumers admit they regret their purchases, leading to a 143% spike in product returns the following week. The holiday shopping season comes with a hefty price tag for the environment. Globally, the surge in production, transportation, and waste during this season strains natural resources, clogs landfills, and accelerates pollution.
You or whoever you're shopping for probably doesn't need any more clothes. They probably don't need any more makeup or skincare. The kids don't need any more toys. The vast majority of us have so much more than we will ever be able to use or consume. And a lot of us, myself included, have that mindset that, one in, one out, I'll just donate a bunch of what I have. Well, there are studies that show that about 80% of the clothes that we donate ends up in landfills. This chart is from the EPA, and it shows just how dramatically how much clothes we're producing has increased in the last 60 years, as well as how much is ending up in landfills. When you buy a bunch of makeup and skincare so you can try it out at home and then you return it, they cannot resell that. They also don't want to encourage dumpster diving or prevent people from coming in and buying new product, so they actually destroy what you've given them. And for pretty much all of the goods that you return, about 25% of the items end up just getting destroyed. Sometimes it's literally not worth it to the company to take the time to figure out if the product is resellable, so it makes more sense for them to trash it. The end result of all of this is that we are actually using our Earth's resources at 1.75 times faster than they can be regenerated.
But what if there's a way to break free from the cycle of overconsumption? Here's how you can keep your wallet happy and the planet too.
If you need to replace something in your home, before you go out and buy something new, check your local Buy Nothing group, check the marketplaces. There's a good chance you'll find a slightly used version. And if you're like me, I definitely like to buy the newest version of something, but the reality is that a lot of those changes they make are actually cost-cutting measures, so it's possible that the older versions are better quality. So don't let something being a little bit outdated deter you from buying it.
And turns out, social media can also be a force for good. Last week, TikTok creator Rebecca Chobat went viral for an unexpected reason, helping people celebrate Thanksgiving on a tight budget. Chobat shared a series of videos showing how to make Thanksgiving meals using affordable options from Dollar Tree. The tasty-looking meals gave people an option to enjoy the holidays without breaking the bank. With the holiday shopping season in full swing, scammers are increasingly getting creative. This year, scams powered by artificial intelligence have been on the rise, targeting unsuspecting shoppers. From fake websites to voice-activated scams, AI-driven tactics are being used in ways that make it harder than ever to distinguish real offers from fake ones.
These ads are posing as small businesses closing down after years of operation. They offer final discount sales on leather bags, jewelry, clothes for crazy discounts. Sounds like a great deal, right? But what happens if you click these ads? You get to fake shopping sites with AI-generated images like this one. Once you pay, you either get nothing or receive cheap fake items. So what's the best way to avoid these scams? First, always think twice before buying from unfamiliar ads. Second, check the site's URL and Google the business for any reviews. And most importantly, use advanced tools like Guardio that block scams right away.
Now, onto a scheme that was deemed one of the most sophisticated phishing scams of all time. I'm referring to the Scatter Spider, named after their far-reaching web of deceit. The 5 people linked to it face up to 20 years in federal prison in the US. They have been accused of stealing millions of dollars using people's sensitive information and financial data.
The group also used social engineering to manipulate their victims. They played on human emotions like fear, curiosity, and greed to trick people into giving up their information. For instance, they might send an email claiming you've won a prize and need to click a link to claim it. Or they'd warn you about suspicious activity on your account, urging you to act fast. The impact of this phishing scam has been devastating. Victims have reported financial losses, identity theft, and compromised online accounts. The sheer scale of the operation highlights just how vulnerable we all are in the digital age. So, how can you protect yourself from falling victim to such scams? Here are a few key tips. First, always verify the authenticity of emails and websites before clicking on any links or providing personal information. Second, be wary of urgent requests. Scammers often create a sense of urgency to make you act without thinking. And finally, use strong, unique passwords for your accounts.
Big eyes, plump lips, smooth skin. These are common features of beauty filters, but TikTok is now banning these for teenagers. The company says certain filters that alter kids' features in ways makeup can't will now be globally restricted for users under 18. But goofy filters like bunny ears or dog noses will stick around. Additionally, TikTok is considering blocking under 13s in some countries from the platform altogether. The move comes as many governments are pushing for stricter regulations for social media and minors, saying it's bad for their mental health. Beauty filters are known to pressure people to meet unrealistic physical standards. Studies show this pressure and filters can damage teens' self-esteem or distort a child's understanding of beauty. But the impact is not just limited to teens.
This is what a human face looks like. I don't use filters in any of my TikTok videos. There was a period of my life where on Instagram I would always post with like little filters and I was like, wow, I look so good with these on. And then when I would see my regular self in the mirror, I'd be like, oh, you don't look that good. And the impact it had on my self-esteem to see normal skin with pores was outstanding, and I realized how unhealthy it was. So I went through my Instagram and I unfollowed all the models that use all these heavy filters that I'm constantly comparing myself to. Decided that I only wanted to follow people that made me feel good. And in the same vein, I didn't want to make other people feel bad, so I stopped using any filters on my stuff. I really encourage you to not use these filters. It has real impacts on our mental health and on anyone that views that content.
As 2024 comes to an end, dictionaries are announcing their selections for the word of the year. We have heard brat, manifest, and demure, but Oxford picked brain rot as its word of the year, following a public poll in which 37,000 people participated. The word's usage has increased by 230% in the past year. Psychologist Andrew Shubelsky says the word's popularity is a symptom of the times we live in. But what exactly is brain rot?
Apparently, brain rot is what happens when you have been consuming too much low-value content. And as a result, it makes your language completely inaccessible to anybody else who doesn't overindulge in the same content that you do. The thing is, it's got less to do with the content and more to do with consumption. And the thing is, there are literally an infinite amount of flavors of brain rot because you can overconsume anything.
For example, dude, you have to get off TikTok. You've got brain rot.
I low-key brain rot every weekend, and I'm telling nobody. Guilty, sue me.
And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.